So now that we've created our named ranges, it's time to take a look at how we can use them in formulas. So we're going to complete this little table on the right-hand side and utilize some of those big 5 formulas that we've already learnt in this course. So the first formula that we need to construct is an average formula. And what we want to do here is we want to find out the average quantity. So let's start out by typing in average. I'm going to press my Tab key to select it from that list, and now we need to provide the values that we want to find the average of. Now it's at this stage normally I would go in and select the cell range in this worksheet. But because we've set this range up as a named range, I can simply use the name. And this range is called quantity. Now to pull that up or input it into the formula, if I start typing the word quantity, notice that IntelliSense also picks up any named ranges that you have in your worksheet. So it's not just formulas that you're going to see in that menu underneath, you're also going to see any named ranges that you've created. So once it's found the named range, it's highlighted, so I can simply press the Tab key. Notice that the word quantity is in blue and the range is highlighted in blue in the table. All that's left for me to do here is close off my bracket, hit enter, and there I get the answer. So that is a really nice, easy way of incorporating those named ranges into your formulas. And if you look at this formula, it's very simple to see exactly what this formula is doing. Let's do this one more time. This time we want to do a count of the number of orders. So we're going to type in count, press the Tab key, and this time I want to use the range that I called orders. Again, we can start to type it in. It finds it in the list, Tab key, close the bracket, hit enter, and we are done. Now, so far in those 2 examples, that has very much relied on me remembering what I've called my named range. And it might be that if you're working in a spreadsheet that maybe you last looked at 6 months ago, you can't necessarily remember all of the names of the ranges in your spreadsheet. So let's do this next one, and I'm going to show you a little workaround for that. So now we need to find out what the minimum sales are. So we're going to use min, press that Tab key, and if I can't remember that it's the total range that I want, if I press the F3 key on my keyboard, that's going to pop open a little window that's going to list out all of the named ranges that I have in this workbook. So now I can take a little look through the different names. Yes, that's the one I want, total. Select it, and it's going to input it into my formula, close off the bracket, hit enter. And I can do exactly the same for max. Once again, I can press F3, select total, click on OK, close the bracket, and hit enter. And then the final one here is just a sum calculation, so we can type in sum. And this time I'm just going to start to type total, select it from that list, close the bracket, and hit enter. And I need to just adjust the formatting on these to make them British pounds. And there we go. That is how you can use named ranges in your formulas. Now, another important point to note here is if you have used named ranges in your formulas and then that named range gets deleted, that's going to mess up your formula. Let me show you what I mean. If we jump up to the Formulas tab, and remember to delete named ranges, we need to jump into the Name Manager. So if I decide that I want to delete this totals range, let's click on delete and OK. Notice what happens to my formulas. I now get this name error. And if you remember in a previous lesson when we were looking at errors that you can come across in Excel, one of them was this name error. And I said to you that a name error either means that you have a problem with the name of the formula, maybe you've misspelt it, or you have a problem with the name of the named range. So in this case, the formula name is correct, but the name range no longer exists. So what I would need to do to fix this is either go in and replace these with cell references. So select the cell reference, close the bracket and hit enter. Or I could create the named range again. So let's select this, create from selection. I'm going to call it total. And now that has fixed those two formulas. So just be aware of that. Deleting named ranges can affect any formulas where you're using the named range.